The following program may contain language of an adult nature. Listener discretion is advised.
Views and opinions expressed on the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of alltalkradio.net.
Welcome to Dontae's Boxing Nation show here on alltalkradio.net. Now here's your host, Dontae.
All right, guys, welcome to the Dontae's Boxing Nation show, alltalkradio.net, boxingtalk.com, and we got a real good show for you guys today. Let me go ahead and introduce my special guest. Well, in the studio with me, as always, my co-host, Norrin Radical, Arthur and Ryder. What's going on, my man?
Chilling, baby.
And on the phone, we have my correspondents, Eagles World and Arab King. They have some of the best boxing YouTube channels out there, so if you guys don't know, go ahead and subscribe, check them out, okay? And my very special guest with us as well on the phone is one of the best boxing trainers in the world today, Mr. Joel Diaz. And you guys may also know him.
How's everybody doing tonight?
All right. The man that trains Tim Bradley, for some of you guys sleeping under a rock, you know, and other fighters coming up. So let's go ahead and get into it. Like I said, welcome everybody. Diaz, welcome once again, man. Let's get right into it, Joel. Now, the last fight, your big fighter, Tim Bradley, he took a tough loss against Manny Pacquiao. I want to know, first of all, has there been any drastic changes, in his training since, or any changes since he took that loss till now?
No, there have not been any changes. Tim Bradley basically keeps it basic and simple, just hard work. We know that it was a very tough fight. We know stepping in the ring with a devastating fighter like Manny Pacquiao, it was a tough fight. Some of the things that happen in the fight, they happen for a reason. Sometimes you have to take a loss like that, and get some credit, and at the same time get some respect. Tim Bradley really showed a lot. And I can be honest with you, I saw the fight the night that I lived it, and I never saw it after. But a few weeks ago, I was there and watching it, and I went in there, and, I came back with him. I said, you know what, Tim, I'm very proud of you, man. You fought a tough fight. I knew you had an injury, and, you finished the fight on your feet, and you gave it all. You gave the people what they wanted to see, Basically, Tim was there fighting to win, but at the same time, he'd rather get out of the ring, give the people the excitement of a good fight, and he put it up. He put it up for his fans. He put it up for the people. At the same time, I told him, sometimes you win and people are not happy, and sometimes you lose and people are happy. In this case, Tim Bradley gave it all, and some people really, gave Tim some respect and say, you know what, Tim, you really showed a lot. And no changes are made. We don't make any changes. All we do is we go back to work and put in our work again and prepare for the next one.
Yeah, I hear you. Now, Joel, I get a lot of flack from the Manny Pacquiao fans. They feel that I'm not giving Manny Pacquiao enough credit for the victory the second fight. And the reason why is because I clearly seen Tim Bradley doing a very good job until he got injured. So, I give Manny Pacquiao credit for winning the fight, but then, one has to wonder, what if Tim Bradley didn't injure himself? Would Manny Pacquiao have still won that fight? So, what do you think? Does more credit go to Pacquiao for him winning that fight, or does he lose a little credit because he was fighting against a handicapped Tim Bradley in the fight, Joel?
Like I told you earlier, things happen for a reason. We left the venue that night, with a defeat, but at the same time, it was a great performance. We gave it all. Our plan that we prepared for, the strategy to beat Manny Pacquiao, was always move on your feet. Tim was always moving on his feet, bouncing, giving angles, making Manny Pacquiao fall short. Just make him fall short, catch him on the counters, and always just keep moving. Don't be there in front of Manny Pacquiao. And Manny Pacquiao he gets confused when a fighter moves on him. I mean, Manny Pacquiao likes the fighters to come get him, and that's the worst mistake. And Tim was doing really good in the early rounds, up to the 5th, 6th round, and then when that injury came, and then we had to improvise. I was really mad. Honestly, I had a great plan of attack. I had a great strategy to beat Manny Pacquiao that night, and we did it in camp. We practiced, we trained for everything, and we had kids simulating Manny Pacquiao. Obviously, they're not Manny Pacquiao, but we practiced at the gym, and everything was working for us. And I knew that Tim was capable of winning that fight. That's why I kept repeating, Tim, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great. Yeah, keep moving on him. Make him miss. Make him counter on him. And then when he comes to the corner and he tells me, Coach, I pulled a muscle on my calf, and then I started massaging his leg, and he starts screaming like he's in pain. I go, okay, this is not good. So then I threw the plan out the window. I said, Tim, hey, now you gotta go. Go get him. Let's give it all, man. If we're gonna go down, we're gonna go down swinging. Let's go. And he goes, okay, Coach, let's do it. So then he started walking forward, started attacking Manny Pacquiao, taking punches from Manny, but at the same time coming back. And I knew that after the 6th round, it was all up to God, and whatever happened, it really didn't matter. We just wanted to fight because the strategy was out the window in the earlier after the injury. So then after that, I said, okay, Tim, let's just fight. If Tim would have got knocked out that night, we would have walked out and said, okay, we fought it. Doesn't matter. But he gave it all. That poor kid really gave it his all, and it just didn't work out for us that night. But he's still here.
Well, now, Joel, with good talking to you again, by the way, bro. You had the injuries in the first fight with the ankles. Then you had the pulled calf muscle in the second fight. Was Tim at all able to draw from his adversity in the first fight to help him cope, or did that go through his mind? Being that he had somewhat of a similar injury in the first fight and was still able to overcome and get the decision?
Tim is a very strong kid. He's strong-minded. He trains for everything, and he knows that injuries happen. The question is why when he fights Manny Pacquiao he gets those injuries.
Right.
And just a few days ago, Tim gave he asked me a question. Fighter training question. He said, Coach, he says, I tried something different for this camp. I said, okay, what is it? He goes, I'm not going to go vegan anymore. He goes, I've been eating meat. I've been eating this. I go, Tim, let's do something. Don't change anything. You need to stick to what's been working for you. He goes, yeah, Coach, but look what happened in the Manny Pacquiao fight, and look what happened on the second Manny Pacquiao. I go, Tim, don't blame other things that don't make sense on the fight. Remember, that fight is high intensity because Manny Pacquiao is a high intensity fighter.
Exactly.
The adrenaline is different. Fighting a fighter like Manny Pacquiao is completely different from every other fighter because Manny Pacquiao keeps you tense, very tense, every second of the fight. He goes, Coach, the reason I was fatigued. I go, yeah, you're fatigued because you're using more adrenaline. I mean, your adrenaline is flowing through your body, and you're just tense. He goes, Coach, the first fight, by the 3rd round, I was like, man, it's really the 3rd round. Yeah, because Manny Pacquiao, he's always like, he's so unpredictable. He's always like pretending that he comes in and he doesn't. So he has you at the edge of the fall, and that's the reason why you drain yourself so much. But other than that, look, you go back to the Marquez fight. Everything was great. I mean, there's not much intensity. Every fighter is different, and Manny Pacquiao's energy is really high. So those are the changes that he wanted to make. But we go back to him being what he is and doing what he does because it works for him.
Joel,
one question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, one question. The game plan, it seems like that you wanted Timothy Bradley to box on the second time he fought Manny Pacquiao, but he started applying pressure from if I remember correctly, from the 3rd round on. So I'm guessing he hurt his foot early in the fight, like in the second round or third round. Can you remember what round he hurt his foot? Because he started applying the pressure early on, and I thought his game plan was going to be the box. And when I saw him pressuring Manny Pacquiao, I was really surprised.
You know, I don't remember exactly what run it was because for some reason I never go back and watch the fight. I just live them the same day, and I never go back and watch them on video. But when I talked to him, he said it was early in the fight. I figured third, fourth round, but I thought it was like maybe the fifth or sixth because honestly, what happened was there was a couple of guys behind me that were part of the team sitting in the front row right by my corner, and then at some point, you know, they yelled out, like in the fifth round or sixth round, they yelled out, "Coach," they're like, they have Bradley winning 4-1, 4 rounds to 1. And I said, okay, you know, because I guess they were getting data from somebody watching it on TV or something. So they were like, hey, Coach, Tim's up 4-1 or, you know, 3-2 or something like that. But then after that, when Tim kept complaining about his leg, of course, he had to stand because he couldn't put his weight on the back leg. His right leg was hurting him. At some point, he didn't want to show Manny that he was hurt. That's the reason why he would lower down and he would drop his hand, you know, try to get Manny Pacquiao to not notice he had an injury. Because or else if Manny noticed he was injured, he would have attacked. He would have been on him from that moment on. That's the reason why Bradley was moving very carefully. At some point, he would stay flat and just go forward in the attack.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Joel, this is Eagle. I had a question for you as well. I thought you guys were handily winning the fight in the second fight up until about where you said the midway point. But I heard reports that were saying that Timothy Bradley, even though he's not a known, like, devastating puncher per se, he excels with other skills in his brain. I was reading reports before the fight saying he was going to try for the KO and try to knock out a guy like Pacquiao. And I want to know if there's any truth to those reports, because it did look like at points he was trying to load up on shots. So was there any truth to Bradley was gunning for a knockout?
Yes, sir. The reason why is this. Knowing what happened in the first fight, we knew that a decision against Manny Pacquiao, even if it was close, it was not going to go our way. We felt like we owed them something. We owed them a fight. The judges were there. As a matter of fact, let's not go too far. Look at the cards. Look at the decision that night. I mean, the numbers after the fight were ridiculous. I mean, a lot of people that I talked to, I mean, the fight was closer than what they gave it. I mean, basically, Timothy, the judges gave it to Pacquiao like Tim probably won only one round or two. And some of the media that was ringside thought it could have been a draw, you know, because the fight was closer than the judges gave it. So, Tim, we talked about it, and I told Tim, you know what, Tim, at some point, you're going to have to go, man. I know you're not a devastating puncher, but, you know, you're going to have to take it to him and swing hard. And he did. A couple times, he swung the right hand with so much force. Even Manny Pacquiao said, man, he caught me with a couple of right hands, and he did shock me. And that right there is like Tim wanted to, you know, take down Manny one way or another.
Hey, Joel, Tim is a very he's a very mentally strong fighter. I mean, boxing, you got to be mentally strong regardless, and he's an exceptionally mentally strong fighter. Are there any, or has he showed any psychological ramifications after taking his first professional loss? I know you giving him the consolation that you're proud of him. I mean, he did do a spectacular job. He had the, you know, the uncanny luck, or the, you know what I mean, the unfortunate luck of having, again, that same type of injury rear its head again in the second fight. But psychologically, how is he after taking his first professional loss? Or is he good? Is he satisfied with his performance and, you know, ready to keep it moving and get back in there?
Well, I can tell you this: he's more satisfied now after his first loss than his win over Manny the first time.
For sure.
Because of the approach of the fans, the approach to the media, the approach of everybody. I don't see a problem with him. He is great. He's motivated. He's excited. And then most of all, he has a good team around him.
Mm-hmm.
My brothers always come around. My brother Julio, my brother Antonio, some of the fighters here, they come around and say, hey, Tim, man, remember, you lose a fight, and then you got to come back stronger.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I see in Brad is, hey, I'm going to be a world champion again. I guarantee you. I'm back, and I'm gonna capture another title, regardless of what it is. And his motivation is very high. I don't see any psychological problems with him because he trains extremely hard.
Sure.
He has a great attitude in the gym, and he trains really hard. He focuses every day. We started training like 4 weeks ago, just coming to the gym, no pressure. We haven't even started camp yet for his next fight. But he is pushing. He's pushing himself, every day, and he's putting his will and determination in becoming a world champion again. And I know him. I don't see any problem with him, like decreasing or fading or just losing the love to the sport.
Nice.
On the other hand, I see him, ready for the next step.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Joel. Now, we keep talking about the first fight to the second fight. And after the first fight, of course, there was a huge backlash. It was considered controversial. The fans, they had nothing but bad stuff to say about Tim Bradley. They said, he's weak. He has no power. He doesn't even deserve a rematch. He shouldn't have been in there. They just completely discredited him, right? But once Manny Pacquiao really had no choice but to take the rematch because he had an option to either fight Ruslan Provodnikov, I think, or maybe a Robert Guerrero, or fight Tim Bradley. He chose to fight Tim Bradley. Now, after he gets a win over Tim Bradley, now those same fans are saying, hey, Manny Pacquiao fought Tim Bradley, and look how good Tim Bradley is. Now they try to give Manny Pacquiao credit because they saying he fought an opponent that was so good. I mean, are these fans just, hypocrites, Joel? I mean, are they just happy to see Bradley lose? Like, do they feel they like him more when he's losing as opposed to him beating someone like an iconic guy like Manny Pacquiao?
Hypocrites.
Unfortunately, that's the way the boxing sport is. Remember, in this business, we need that kind of people. We need the people that talk bad, and we need the people that talk good. Because, like I've always said, in my business as a trainer, I always say that if people talk good about me, if people talk bad about me or good about me, that's good because I'm doing something. The day people don't talk about me, then that day I'm gonna worry. And I see the same thing. Bradley is. Bradley, he's a great fighter. He's proved himself the hard way because he's never had an easy opponent. He is where he is because he's worked twice as hard and really put his heart and soul into every fight, and he's still here. He's not as fortunate or privileged to choose his opponent. It's who they put in front of him. And Manny Pacquiao, twice with Manny Pacquiao, went the distance. Manny Pacquiao, I'm telling you, I have a lot of respect for the man because that guy, he can hit, he's fast, he's smart, unpredictable, and he's reckless. And if you can go 24 rounds with that guy and still walk out of the ring on your feet, believe me, I give the man credit.
Absolutely.
No doubt. Manny Pacquiao is a beast, with his speed, like you said, he's very unpredictable. But like you were saying, Joel, I agree with you. When it comes to the hypocrites, you got to love them because for me, they provide job security. You know what I mean? We will always have something to talk about.
That's just the way it is. It's because it's like when there's a fight going on, that there's a certain percentage of people watching the fight hoping you lose. And there's another percentage hoping you win. So you need them both.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And then to reemphasize what you said also, Joel, to reemphasize what you said, sometimes when you lose, you win in a certain sense. And like you said, the respect that that Tim Bradley has, that he's taken You know what I mean? Let alone what he's earned, the respect he's taken, like you said, from those 24 rounds, the war with Provodnikov. I mean, he's proven everything he has to prove. Like you said, he just needs to get back in there and, reclaim, his place amongst the boxing elite as a world champion. So, big up to Tim.
Go ahead, AK.
Diaz, Timothy Bradley is a very hardworking fighter. But how do you think the fact that Timothy Bradley keeps gaining a lot of weight after fights will affect his performance come, on December against Chavez? Because Chavez is a puncher, and one of the effects of gaining a lot of weight and losing them is that you don't react to the punches like you're supposed to. Your legs wobble a little bit more, and we saw that kind of in the Provodnikov fight, even though Provodnikov is a hard puncher. But also, Timothy Bradley gained a lot of weight. A lot of weight like that kind of affects legs. So do you think that's going to affect him against Chavez on December?
I think that if you make one mistake in life and you go back and make the same mistake twice, then something's wrong. And the way I see it is that Timothy made that mistake when he fought Ruslan Provodnikov, but it wasn't a mistake. It was just the fact that he had an injury in June when he fought Manny. And then when in December they told us that we were going to fight Ruslan Provodnikov, I mean, Tim was barely putting pressure on his leg because of his ankle. Okay, leaving that aside, Tim had inactivity because he went from a wheelchair to crutches, and he had no activity. Timothy is a fighter that after every fight, he comes the next day or two and he's running. He's active, doing conditioning and whatnot. But when we went into the fight with Provodnikov, even the day of the weigh-in, in the morning, Tim had to be in a sauna. I had to put him in a sauna because he gained so much weight. And we started late. We started late on the training for that fight. So he had a lot of weight on him. First time in his career, that we had to use a sauna to break the weight the day of the weigh-in. So now, that being said, we started 3 weeks ago, a month ago, training for the December fight. Why? Because we wanted to start breaking the weight down right now, so that when we start camp, which is October 20th, is when we start camp, we already had a good weight class, at a good weight, comfortable weight, and that's the reason why when we started a month ago, coming to the gym, I checked his weight, and I told him, Tim, this is the way it's gonna go. I got your schedule here. This is how much you weigh. By this next week, I want you at this weight. So I got him on schedule. And like I said, he is under 170. He's at 167 today. This weekend, he should be at 165. And there's no big problem because we still got 10 weeks still to go. Yeah. So there's plenty of time. If we just keep doing what we're doing every week, and he does his weight the way I'm telling him to do it, we should not have a problem. The problem for the Provodnikov fight was different. He took care of his weight like he always does, but obviously he wasn't doing it right. And I'm not gonna let him make the same mistake because it will affect him. Fighting a guy like Diego Chavez, you gotta be in top shape and in good condition, physically and mentally.
Yeah.
And as far as his foot is improved now at this point, right? He could run and he could train like he's supposed to.
His foot is good. Up to now, the doctor says, just to tape it. He's taping his leg. Like I said, he feels a little bit of pain, a little bit of pinching on the calf. But other than that, every day, and he trains with it and has no problem.
Okay.
All right, Joel, I have a question for you as well that I want to add on. First of all, I want to say props to Team Bradley and yourself for taking a tough fight like Diego Chavez off of a loss, because we all know that's not a pushover opponent. We all know how iron-willed and determined Tim is. He showed us that. He has a deeper resume than people give him credit for. The Ruslan Provodnikov fight really sticks out. I was like, the HBO commentators even said, what is this guy made of? And he showed that. So switching gears just slightly, how is it since you're training Victor Ortiz, who has this stigma, he has this persona as being a quitter and not that same Timothy Bradley iron will, How is that? Was there any hesitation when you made the deal to, I guess, to train Victor Ortiz, or any things that you guys discussed?
You know, I'm very unfiltered, and you want to hear what I have to say? I'll tell you. Simple as this. When Victor came to me, Victor was in the gutter. I mean, everybody lost hope in Victor due to his action in his last fight. You know, he quit. You know, he quit, and whatever happened, you know, he quit again. He came to me, and when he came, he was here in the gym, and he says, "Hey, coach, can I train here?" "Yes, you can train here." But I really didn't give him the attention that a lot of superstars get. I treat him like everybody else. And then, you know, I was doing my thing, training the fighters. And when he came around, he says, "I want to train here." I said, "Okay, but this is the way it's going to go, Victor. I'm the boss here. You're not." "Okay, coach, that's fine." So I brought him into my house, and I had a serious talk with him. I told him, "Victor, you know, first of all, that everybody thinks you're a coward." "Yes, coach." I said, "So what do you want to do? You want to do this or not? If not, don't waste my time. Because I'm not going to be easy on you. It's not going to be easy for you. It's not going to be easy for me." He goes, "I know, coach." He says, "But I'm going to be a world champion again." And then, just going into the deep side of his personal thoughts, he broke down to me and told me, "Coach, this is the way it is. This is the way it's been." Okay? Well, that kid has a lot of natural talent. But I don't know if he's ever had a voice of command that can really be aggressive on him, because according to him, he was always the boss, to the point where he's hitting the bag and he says, "I'm going to hit the bag 2 rounds." "Okay, Victor, hit the bag 2 rounds." "Victor, you jumping rope." "I'm tired." "Okay, that's it, just rest." It's not like that with me. If I tell you you're going to hit the bag 6 rounds, you're going to hit the bag 6 rounds, even though you're tired. Simple as that. I'm the boss. And a couple of times, he felt pressured in the training, and he sort of wanted to, like, walk away. I tell him, "Hey, get back on it. We're not done yet." And I give him that look. I give him the voice of command, and you'll finish it. You know, he's not so happy about it, but that's the way it's supposed to be. I run this show here. I drive this boat. So it's either you're going to listen to me, and whenever I ask you for something, I expect for you to give it to me. So when it comes to sparring, there's times when he's sparring some tough guys. And the reason why right now, I'm in the process of roughing him up. I'm roughing him up every day. Because if I see any signs of him turning his back, I will not waste my time. But other than that, I'm injecting some hardcore anger in him, where the point where he has the potential, he has the power, he has the ability. All he needs is that confidence in his mind to break through and go through fire. And like I said, you know, we have to wait till he goes back in the ring. We're gonna know. How we're gonna know where Victor's career is? We need one fight. After his next fight, we're gonna know, and we're gonna determine where Victor is and where he's gonna go. Because if he says, "Oh, you know, I'm done, that's it," then you're done. Then don't waste my time. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna try the best possible, as much possible, to change him and mentally make him strong mentally, because he could do it. If not, you know what? For me, it's a win-win situation. If I can change him and show the world that I can change him, it benefits me. But if it doesn't, hey, it's like he was already broken anyway.
It's just such a stark contrast. Just such a stark contrast between fighters. Just such a stark contrast between fighters when you talk about Timothy Bradley and Victor Ortiz. Is like polar ends of the spectrum. You know what I mean? You got one guy who has extreme mental fortitude, and like you said, there's another guy who you got to roughen and toughen up. You know, so yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, well, speaking of Victor Ortiz, yes.
Go ahead, Eagle. Let Eagle. Eagle's gonna say something. Go ahead, Eagle.
I was just going to add on. Does Victor have an opponent selected for, I think, November?
Well, last night I got a call from Sam Watson, and he was asking me about when would Victor be ready. I said, he's ready. Just give me a date. And they're looking into December, mid-December, after Bradley's fight or before Bradley's fight. So it could be early December or mid-December. Opponents, they haven't mentioned any.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead, AK. You got something?
Yeah, well, speaking of Victor Ortiz, when you started training him, what's something that impressed you the most? Like, something that stood out, as far as, like, his power or speed, and something that disappointed you, or, something that you noticed that he lacks that surprised you, with Victor Ortiz?
What surprised me about Victor is that he's a natural talented fighter. He has the ability. He has natural boxing ability. He has power on both hands. And what really disappointed me about Victor is when he throws his combinations and steps into his opponents, he steps in too close. He don't have the distance between him and his opponents to exchange. He either lands too close or he's too far. And I've changed him a lot. Sometimes he will throw his punches too high. I mean, you got to throw your punches eye level. Eye level. Every time he jabs way above his head. And I'm correcting all those things from him. I'm correcting that. I'm teaching him that at some point in the fight, you could be a good boxer, but you have to learn to brawl in there. When you have power in your hands the way he has, he can withstand a couple punches and counter and break your opponent, because there's fighters out there that don't have the power that he has. And mentally, like, if I got the power and you can't hurt me, hey, I'm going to break you. And I'm integrating that into his mind. If you got an opponent that doesn't have the power that you have, let him hit you a couple times. As long as you're in control of your defense, okay, apply pressure, and as soon as you land your punches, you're going to break that opponent. So I want to make him a complete fighter as far as he could be a great boxer because he boxes really well, and I can make him a brawler. And, those are the things that I'm making, the changes I'm making in Victor, and I just hope that he can bring those changes in his next fight. That's why I'm looking forward to working with him on this next fight to see how it's going to work. If he's going to follow my plan and listen to me, or he's going to go in his own and do his own thing.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good that he's working with an unfiltered trainer who's going to tell him the truth instead of lying to him. But let me ask you this, Joel. Let's go ahead and talk about Tim Bradley's future. I want to know. It took a while for you guys to decide who your next opponent was going to be. Was there any opponents that turned down a fight with Tim Bradley? And was this the fight that you guys wanted from the start, which was Jesus Chavez? Yeah, Chavez.
Like I told you earlier, Tim Bradley is not a privileged fighter that is going to say, I want to fight the guy and I'm going to fight him. It's who they give him. Top Rank always says, this is who you're going to fight, and that's it. Let me go back to the Ruslan Provodnikov. When they offered Ruslan Provodnikov back before he fought him, they gave us a few names, and they gave us Provodnikov along those names. Oh. And I had a feeling that that's the guy that we were going to fight, because when they call me and they say, okay, you got 4 opponents, and this guy, that guy, and then you got Ruslan Provodnikov. And then I said, I think that's a mistake that I made. I made that mistake myself by saying, okay, Provodnikov, put him at the very bottom of the list. I don't want to fight Provodnikov right now. But I'll fight this guy and that guy. But Provodnikov is at the very bottom of the list. So then I went to Tim the following day. I said, Tim, they gave me 3 opponents and Ruslan, but I said, you know what, Ruslan is going to be the last opponent. He's going to be our last option. And then I told Tim the same day. I go, Tim, you know what, man, I have a feeling that just because I said that we don't want to fight Ruslan, they're going to give us Ruslan. And sure did. That's what they did. They said, oh, well, this guy's not going to fight right now. This guy don't want to fight, but Ruslan is there. So we had no other option but to fight Ruslan Provodnikov, and that's what we did. Same thing happened with Diego Chavez. They said, okay, how many? There's certain names out there. First, we were supposed to fight Miguel Cotto, December 6th, and then there were negotiations. There was in talks. They went back and forth, and then never came through. The thing is that I think Miguel Cotto wants to reserve his right for a Canelo fight next year. He don't want to risk losing to a Bradley or anybody else. So he says, okay, I'm not interested fighting this year. I'll wait till next year. So, that was one. And now, I guess, I said, okay, we'll fight Mike Alvarado. Give us Mike Alvarado. Give us Brandon Rios. So now, they don't want to give us Brandon Rios or Mike Alvarado because they have plans in the near future to have a third fight with Brandon and Alvarado again for the third. So here we go. Again, Bradley has to fight whoever is left, which is Diego Chavez.
Yeah. That's got to be frustrating. Hold on, let me ask this real quick. That does have to be frustrating. But now I got to ask you, what do you guys think about Keith Thurman? Keith Thurman, he said in an interview about a week ago, he said he would love that fight. He said he would love to be the first guy to knock out Tim Bradley. Joel, what do you think about him as an opponent? What does Tim Bradley think about Keith Thurman as an opponent?
Tim Bradley welcomes Keith Thurman anytime.
Nice.
If the time is right, negotiations are right, this promoters issues are right, we'll do it. Tim has been in the ring with Manny Pacquiao. I mean, what worse can happen to Bradley than a Manny Pacquiao?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, Keith Thurman is very. He has power on his feet, on his hands. He has a lot of power. But hey, fight. People want to see the best fights out there. But it's not up to us. It's not up to us. It's up to the promoters. If it was us, man, come on. I mean, I would love to see a Tim Bradley with Amir Khan because they left fire in the oven before. I mean, why not? I mean, I would like to see a good fight. I mean, but then, like I said, it's not what we want. It's what they want. The promoters, the managers, they're the ones that make it happen, not us. We can demand.
Yeah.
We're not at the position to demand. I mean, I would love to see a fight with Tim Bradley and Danny Garcia. I mean, Danny moving up to 147.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a great fight.
Yeah, that would.
I mean, there's a lot of fights. Tim Bradley and Amir Khan. That would be something good. Tim Bradley, Sean Porter, Tim Bradley, Keith Thurman. I mean, we welcome every possible fight.
Yeah,
why? Because those are the fights people want to see.
Absolutely.
But who's enabling those fights to happen? Not us.
But that's good for the record, though, Joel, that you guys are completely open. Exactly. Not only are you guys open, but you guys want those fights, right, Joel?
Look, this is just simple. This is just plain and simple. If you want to be the best, you got to fight the best.
Welcome.
Okay, and if Keith Thurman is the best out there right now, I mean, hey, let the managers and promoters deal with it and make it happen. At the end of the day, it's not what Tim wants; it's what they want. If Top Rank calls Tim Bradley and says, "Hey, Bradley, you gonna fight Keith Thurman?" We'll fight Keith Thurman. If Top Rank calls and says, "Hey, Tim, you're gonna fight Amir Khan," we'll fight Amir Khan because, like I told you, Tim Bradley doesn't have the privilege to choose his opponent. It's who they give him.
Do you think they're getting closer?
Now, stylistic.
Go ahead, Eagle.
I was going to say something real quick. Stylistically, I love Tim Bradley versus Keith Thurman. He's been calling out people who said he wants the big fight, so we have to see that step up. We have some experience with him. Did Julio, after his fight with Keith Thurman, say anything about his skill level or his power?
My brother Julio?
Yeah.
Well, my brother Julio, come on. Julio put up a great fight with Sean Porter twice. He put up a great fight with Amir Khan. Amir Khan was running like a chicken with no head after Julio caught him with a left hook. Couldn't find him. And, when you fought Keith Thurman, I just think that Julio had a long career. Julio fought a lot of great fighters. And Keith Thurman caught Julio at the right time. Julio he's already an old fighter, with experience, but, you can't step up. You can't step up and try to match speed and youth when it comes to Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman has. I give that kid a lot of credit. He has great punching power. He has great skill, but there's still too much. There's a lot more to see from Keith Thurman, and we got to see it. Yes, I mean we want to see Keith Thurman fight a big name in his prime. Simple as that. And look right now, Keith Thurman. I don't know if he's fighting soon or not. He don't have an opponent because nobody wants to fight him.
Nobody wants to fight him. That's the whole problem. We all want to see him with a big name, but nobody really wants to get in the ring with him. So let me just ask this real quick, Joel. Do you guys have any type of pass, with Keith Thurman sparring? Did you guys see him in the amateurs? Do you know anything about him in passing?
No, nothing.
Okay. You guys want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, Timothy Bradley, he's fighting Chavez. Well, Chavez, he fought Keith Thurman before, and he gave him a good fight. And if you saw Chavez fight before, what's something that impressed you the most about him, and do you see any weaknesses in him if you've seen him fight before?
Of course. I seen him, I was actually there when he fought Keith Thurman in Texas, because Omar Figueroa fought the same night. As a matter of fact, I know Diego Chavez. He's a great person, but he comes to fight. What impresses me from that kid is that he comes to fight. He has great skill. He's a great fighter. He can hit. And, but he has his weaknesses. He has a lot of weaknesses that I've watched in him. And one of them, you saw Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, really opened up a big door, to a lot of people, to a lot of fighters. Once you hit Diego Chavez to the body, everything changes. And Tim Bradley might not have a devastating power, but Tim Bradley can wear you out, just hitting you in the body constantly. And, just great boxing ability. He's a great little boxer. But at some point, he stands too tall, and there's a lot of things that Diego Chavez has that, that we see, that I see as a trainer, that can work in our favor. At the same time, there's a lot that can work against us. And we're getting ready for everything. I saw him against Brandon Rios. I was there that night as well. He was there. He was there fighting. As a matter of fact, I thought he was winning the fight. But like I said, things happen and they just happen. It's just boxing. He's
okay. Now,
yeah. Well, I thought he won the Rios fight too, but he was winning the Rios fight. I thought he was. But you said you think that Timothy, the game plan, it seems like you think that Timothy Bradley going to be banging Chavez to the body. But don't you think that's going to open Bradley for counters, because Chavez is a counter, and if he keeps going to the body constantly, that will open up Timothy Bradley for some counters?
Let me answer your question. Who's a better counter puncher, Diego Chavez or Juan Manuel Marquez?
Marquez.
I said Marquez.
Okay, and look, Timothy beat Marquez, no problem. So we have that in mind. We have that in mind already. I mean, he keeps trying to counter Tim as much as he can. He's always going to run into something, because Tim is a fighter that is not only going to go to the body, he's gonna go to the head. He's going to make a lot of adjustments, and you guys are going to see something very different from Tim Bradley coming into his next fight. I can't expose that. You guys are going to see it, but you guys are going to see something very different from Bradley, and it's going to make his fight a lot better.
Nice.
And it's going to change whatever Diego Chavez has in mind.
Okay, and before we run out of time, I just want to try to touch on some of the latest news. It was just reported just yesterday that Canelo Alvarez is possibly canceling his Joshua Clottey fight because he claims that he has an ankle injury. So we may be seeing Canelo skip the Joshua Clottey fight and go straight to the Miguel Cotto fight in May. I just want to start with you, Ego. What is your thoughts on this this news?
He just don't want to take the. He just don't want to get. He don't want to take the fight. He just, he just wants to, step aside and go on to next year and get a better opponent with a better exposure.
Exactly.
And just move on. I really don't think, an ankle injury at this point, will be the cause of him pulling out of the fight.
Yeah.
He has a great team behind him. He has a good promoter, a good advisor, and I just think that he'd rather for different reasons, he'd rather just not fight this year and just go on to next year and go on to a Cotto fight.
You think it was too much of a risk, though, Joel? You think he just didn't want to take that chance of being upset and missing out on that big, Puerto Rican money in May?
New York.
I think that's, in my opinion, honestly, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, even though Joshua Clottey is an opponent that, he can beat, but he's also a big threat.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ego.
I definitely agree. I think it's just he's already fought 2 times this year, Angulo, Edislami Lara. Oscar's trying to make the fight with Canelo and Cotto, and it's just he stands more to lose. Like, even if he beat Clottey, but he didn't do it impressively, then that's going to hinder and put a damper on Cotto Canelo, because Cotto's coming off an impressive win over Sergio Martinez, but if Canelo barely looked good against Clottey, and Clottey shelled up in the Pacquiao fight, things like that, Clottey stylistically could make Canelo not shine, if that makes sense, especially if he's doing the turtle shell thing. And it just wouldn't be a good preamble before Cotto Canelo, so they probably just said the ankle thing, and they're waiting for 2015.
And then I think also times can be a fact. If Golden Boy already has a date sometime next year, if it's either May or whatever day it is, by jeopardizing the date and the time. If they fight in December, one injury that can be caused in the fight can jeopardize the fight for the certain date they got, the specific date. I just think there's a lot of things, but I just honestly think it wasn't an ankle injury. I just think that they're just using that to pull them out of that day.
Of course.
And wait till next.
Of course.
I gotta totally agree. Clottey Canelo is not a fight I really wanted to see anyway. The way Canelo is being marketed by De La Hoya and Golden Boy, he's supposed to be the next big thing. A fight with Clottey does nothing for him. Nobody looks good against Clottey. So he's not going to go out there and and win impressively. It's not going to happen. Yeah, he's going to get the win, but like you said, more than likely, it is going to be something not even controversial, but again, Clottey is a person that you just don't look good against. You know what I mean? So what does that fight do to push Canelo to that position of where Oscar's trying to get him to? So I was going to say if it was a legitimate injury, maybe it was a bad omen for them going back to HBO. But it's just it's a fight that's it's a fight that's kind of frivolous at this point. Canelo at this point in his career, for what Golden Boy is trying to make him into, he needs to be fighting the marquee guys, the guys that are hot. And like you said, and that's the Cotto fight, Madison Square Garden. Like, you know what I mean? Like, besides Mayweather Pacquiao, you know what I mean? That is the one of the biggest fights out there.
I totally agree.
For sure.
It's a smart move. I did a video earlier talking about it. It's a smart move, and then you have to really consider the fact that Canelo is a flawed fighter. He's a flawed fighter, and someone like that, you can't guarantee that he's going to get the win, in every outing, especially when he's fighting against someone decent. So
Clottey is certainly decent.
He's decent. He just beat Mundane, and did it in an impressive fashion. And he's right now, Joshua Clottey is talking about he really wanted this fight so he can make up for the Manny Pacquiao loss. So what's more dangerous?
Something to prove.
Yeah. What's more dangerous than a person that has something to prove, right?
For sure.
So now another question I want to ask you guys is, what do you guys think about? I'll start with you, Joel. What do you think about Canelo wanting to fight Cotto on the same day that Floyd Mayweather may be fighting? Is that a good idea, Joel, or what?
Well, it could be a good idea. Depends on the opponent, because nowadays it's about who you fight. If Mayweather has the same date, who is he gonna fight that can generate the fans to watch? I know it's another battle. It's another battle of the business. I just see that if Cotto and Canelo fight that day, then if Mayweather wants to fight the same day, he has to generate a bigger fan base, a bigger a bigger network. So the only way for him to fight the same day and have the full attention, he has to fight Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, that would be it. That's who he would have to fight.
Hopefully.
And hopefully that happens. And not only that, but a lot of people don't realize that if Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather do fight, that's going to be a collaboration of networks. That's going to be Showtime and HBO. So that would probably end up bumping Cotto versus Canelo's date. So I'm hoping that Cotto and Canelo, they do challenge Floyd Mayweather for this date because, yeah, that may force Floyd Mayweather to say, I'm not going to let nobody outshine me. So let's go ahead and make this Manny Pacquiao fight. But Manny Pacquiao still has to get past Chris Algieri, which is why we're going to have to bring Joel back on the show because we are like out of time right now. We damn near got a minute left. The closeout music is on right now.
Already?
So I want to say thanks to all my guests. Once again, co-host in the studio with me, Norrin Radical.
Salute.
Eagles World, a.k.a. Rap King, and one of the best trainers in the world today, Joel Diaz.
Yes, sir.
We will have you back. Thank you, man. I appreciate you for joining the show. And one more correction. I said Jesus Chavez earlier. I meant to say Diego Chavez, goddammit. So anyway, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks again.
And we out.